Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning into my LinkedIn Live. My name is Gurpreet Kaur Mann. I am a career growth strategist, expert in helping career professionals just like you build their build a thriving career, a successful one, but also becoming top paid professionals in your field. And one of the things I'm really good at and really an expert in is helping people land interviews for high paying salary jobs from 200K to 500K. I have 20 years of experience working in HR, 20 years, especially in recruiting and hiring. And I leverage my inside knowledge to help you further um, get grow further in your career and land those interviews really fast. Today's topic is inspired by the conversations I've been having with so many of you wonderful souls out there in your job search. I found out a lot of people are struggling with resumes. So today I'm going to talk about resumes and 8 key elements that your resume must have in order for it to convert into interviews. In order, meaning simply in order for you to land interviews, these are key 8 things that need to be in your resume. Before I begin, let's see who is tuned in. So who's excited to learn about the 8 different key elements that your resume needs to have? Let me know who's tuned in. Tell me in the comment sections. Don't be shy. Say hi. Say hi, hello. What role you're looking for if you are currently job searching. Who you never know who is watching, because I do have a huge network. I have 30K connections as well as 70K plus followers, and in the last 90 days, my LinkedIn. I've been able to reach almost 1.4 million people. So guess what? That's huge, right? So you can actually get exposed to all of this by simply writing comments on this post or any of my LinkedIn content, by the way. But let me know in the comment section where you're tuning in from, what role you're looking for, how long you've been searching for a role, and what is the biggest challenge that you're facing in your job search if you're currently searching for a job. Okay, so let me know in the comment section and then I will begin teaching. Hi, Jitin. Where are you? What world? What part of the world are you tuning in from? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let's begin. Let me share my screen. Okay, so let me know in the comment section if you can see. Let me see if, yep, we can see the screen. Okay, so I'm going to talk about today 8 key elements your resume must have in order for it to convert to interviews. And this is based on psychology, okay? So I'm from Boston looking for data manager. Great. Okay, so based on psychology. So let's get started. Okay, so the key elements that your resume should have, these are eight must elements that your resume should have. Number one thing your resume must have is it needs to be a scroll stopper, meaning that you have less than 5 seconds to grab the reader's attention. So you don't want someone to kind of like just skim through your resume. What you want to do is stop them from scrolling, get their attention so that they stop scrolling and actually read your resume by having hooks in your resume. So we can easily do this in our resumes, is have some hooks spread out throughout our resume that really stop someone from scrolling to really read what you've written. and so that they get a good sense of who you are, so they can want to pick up the phone and call you. So it needs to be a scroll stopper. You have to be able to grab someone's attention within 3 seconds, and then we want to keep their attention long enough for them to take action. And the action we want them to take is to call you for an interview. That's the number one purpose of your resume, is to land you interviews. Okay. Now, number two thing is value. Your value. This is really, really important, that you're able to demonstrate the value you will add to the hiring manager, to the company. Okay. The key word here is the value you will add. This is different from the value you bring to the table. Okay. So let's not confuse the two. Your value is equal to what the other person values. When we talk about the value you bring to the table, we make it all about ourselves. But when we take a pause and ask ourselves, well, what's important to the other person? What value are they looking for? So how would you add value to them? When it comes to hiring, the number one decision maker in hiring is the person who's hiring for their team. So we call them hiring managers. By the way, recruiters are not decision makers. Yes, they help hiring managers by pre-screening incoming resumes and shortlisting the candidates based on what the hiring manager has communicated to recruiter, HR, or talent acquisitions, what they want, right? I've worked with hiring managers side by side. I'm HR for 20 years. I can tell you, in my entire 20 years of my career, when it comes to hiring, it's always about what the hiring manager wants, what's important to them. And we craft our job postings and how we shortlist candidates based on the criteria of a hiring manager. So we're just the middle person, okay? So just keep that in mind. So the value you want to add is to the hiring manager, okay? You have to add value to that person in order for them to want to talk to you. If you're not adding value to them, you're not going to land an interview, especially in this competitive job market that we're facing. It's highly competitive out there. So in order to stand out of the crowd, you need to start thinking differently, and you need to start thinking along the terms of, well, how do I add value to the person who is hiring? So what value will you add? Okay, so it's not the value you bring to the table, it's the value you will add. Okay. Now, typically, in my resume writing course, I actually teach you my formula for value add, and I go over 3 components of this value add formula, which is money plus time plus savings equals the value you will be adding to someone. So I teach this in my resume writing course. By the way, these slides are actually from my resume writing course, and I'm just taking 2 slides from that course of mine. Okay, so the value you will be adding to the hiring manager. Now, language. We want to speak in the same language of the hiring manager. And the reason I keep saying hiring manager is because the hiring manager is the decision maker, and they are the ones who are driving how the job posting will be created, how a recruiter will write that job description. Okay, so it's important, the language. What we tend to do, it's really normal for us to want to speak the way we speak, the terms we use. And what's really important is that we mirror wording and languages on our resume, mirror to what the job posting is saying or the job description is saying. I did this with one of my clients, and I was going over her resume before she hit the apply button for a job she wanted to apply to. So what I was doing was I took her resume, and then side by side with the job description, the job posting with the job description, and I looked at her resume, and I was mirroring it not word for word, but the language. So she was using different terminology or different words, different from what the job posting was saying. So I rewrote her resume with her to in a way where we were pulling words from the actual job posting. So, for example, if they wanted someone who can do talent strategies, made sure that we're saying that exact same language, talent strategy, instead of saying recruitment strategies. In the job description, job description saying talent strategies, not recruitment strategy. For example, she's saying recruitment strategies, so that doesn't align, right? So we want to make sure that we're using the exact language that the job posting, job description has. So we're mirroring those terms, we're mirroring those terminologies, because now this becomes relatable when the individual is reading your resume. What I found, this is one of the key elements that can really make a shift in you landing interviews. Number 4, storytelling. Storytelling is really, really important, because when the reader is reading your resume, they should be able to visualize the entire scene as they're reading your resume. Keep in mind, the person that's reading your resume, they're a human being. And human beings connect to stories. Human beings connect on emotions, right? So don't forget, the person who's reading your resume, who is the ultimate decision maker on would you get an interview or not, is actually a human being and it's not a machine. Okay, so storytelling. Number 5, transformation. What you want to be able to communicate on your resume, especially in each of your roles you worked in, the transformations you've actually taken each company through. Okay, transformation. This is when we really want to leverage the before and after, and we want to also use matrix, stats, data to tell the transformation story. For example, let's say I'll just use, for example, is, let's say someone who's an expert in helping people lose weight. What we want to do is see what their weight was before they started a program and what was after. So we're like, okay, this person was 150 pounds, and they lost, they were 5'2" and they lost, now they're 110, so they lost about 40 pounds in like 3 months, right? So before and after transformation stories, transformational bullet points stories, really helps the individual visualize what it looked like before and what it looked like after you implemented a particular situation, a solution. So you want to show the before and after, and this is where we want to leverage some numbers. Number 6, OMG factor. Your resume needs to have a OMG factor, so that when someone's reading it, in their mind, they keep saying, oh my God, 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 this is exactly what we're looking for. Oh my God, this candidate's exactly what we're looking for. Oh my God, this person's brilliant. Oh my God, oh wow, oh my God, this person got these results. And so these are the emotions we want the reader to feel when they're reading your resume. Remember, the person who's reading your resume is a human being. So we want to invoke emotions because human beings connect on emotion. Actually, human beings make decisions on emotions and then justify it later with logic. Okay, so emotions are really, really key. The other emotion we want to invoke is fear of missing out, the FOMO factor. So I call this the FOMO factor. Your resume also have a FOMO factor, which will make the reader, the recruiter, feel like, oh my God, if I don't pick up the phone and call this candidate right now, or if I don't email this candidate right now and set up an interview, I'm going to lose this candidate. So that sense of urgency needs to be there. And that's where we create a FOMO factor creates this sense of urgency to person to take action. The action we want them to take is to call you for an interview. Number 8, this is my favorite piece, because as somebody who works in HR for 20 years, I can tell you how many times I have raved about a candidate and sold the candidate to the hiring manager, pretty much ready to hire this person before the candidate even walked into the interview with the hiring manager. So what you want to do is you want to turn the recruiter, HR/talent acquisition, who's reading your resume into raving fans so that they go sell you to the hiring manager. We want to create raving fans. And these are the key 8 elements that needs to be in your resume to win in the current job market. You can't keep applying to jobs using an outdated resume, using the templates you're getting from online. Don't get me wrong, templates are great, but if you don't have these 8 key elements in your resume, you're not going to land interviews. You can be applying to thousands of jobs. I keep hearing people saying, oh my God, I've applied to hundreds of jobs, thousands of jobs, and I can't land interviews. The job market's bad. And I'm sitting there saying, well, hey, if you're able to apply to hundreds to thousands of jobs, how is the job market bad? Because if job market was bad, you wouldn't even be able to apply to hundreds of thousands of jobs, right? So something to think about. Is job market really that bad? Is job markets the issue why you're not landing interviews? Or what's really bad is actually your resume? What's really the issue is the resume? So let's just take a pause and start thinking about this, right? Because there's no way if the job market was bad that you'd be able to apply to hundreds of thousands of jobs. Absolutely not, right? But yes, it's highly competitive out there. There are more candidates looking for jobs. So like on average now, depending on the roles, companies are even receiving thousands of applicants for one single role, right? So the problem is that you're competing for the role and you don't know how to land the interview in the highly competitive job market. And the way to succeed in today's job market is these are the 8 key elements you need to have in your resume in order to land interviews. Okay, so these are the 3 elements, and I have some good news. If you don't know how to write a resume with the 8 key elements, because this is the final product that your resume should have, right? And the way your resume needs to look like is something like this. And that's how we're going to incorporate the 8 key elements, okay? So these are the 8 key elements your resume needs to have. Now, this is backed by psychology, based on psychology. Everything I teach is backed up by psychology, right? It's based from human psychology. Now, how do I know human psychology? Is 20 years of my career, I've been studying human behaviors, and that's what HR is really about. Is human resources is also about human behavior. So I have 20 years of expertise in humans. And I can tell you, this is how you can win over recruiters and hiring managers to get them to call you for an interview. The whole goal for your resume has one job to do and land you interviews, okay? So any questions? Any questions? Let me know in the comment section if you do have any questions. But I would love to share is that I'm actually giving away my resume writing course for 50% off so that you can learn how to write a resume that will land you interviews, okay? In my interview worthy resume, you would actually learn the simplest step-by-step formula in writing a resume that will land your interviews really fast, even with top Fortune companies like Meta, Amazon, Walmart, Microsoft, KPMG, Healthcare, CVS, Pfizer, Apple, Visa. Like these are top-notch companies, Sun Life, UPS. If you want to work for any of the top companies, my interview resume course, it is a course, is going to help you do that. And you know what? I'm giving you 50% off. Okay, so grab my resume writing. Here is the link. I've dropped it. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me any questions and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Okay, so I don't see any questions coming in. I've dropped the link where you can grab my interview worthy. The course is called Interview Worthy Resume. You can grab it today for just 50% off. I also do offer resume reviews. So if you want a resume review, I can review your resume and provide feedback. I record the feedback in a video and then I will give it to you as a link and you can keep the video. You'll be able to watch it. So I do provide resume reviews just for a small fee of $50. So if you need any further help, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. But I do hope that this training today, the 8 key elements I walked you through, helps you write a resume, helps you connect the dots on what's missing on your resume and why it's not converting into landing interviews. Okay, so if you are watching the replay, still write comments because I'd be able to still answer your questions because I'll get notification that you wrote a comment. So if you're watching the replay, if you're live with me, type live. But if you're watching the replay, just type replay so that I will know that you were watching the replay. Okay. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be covering a different topic. I'm also putting together a free training. I'm doing a boot camp style 7 to 9 days training on how you can land 200K and 500K job offers in less than 90 days. And this training is designed for mid to senior level career professionals. So if you have 5+ years experience, this training would be great for you. But if you have less than 5 years experience, then it wouldn't be the training for you. But if you want to attend, not a problem. So I'm putting this together. I'm going to be sending out the links shortly on where you can register, but feel free to drop a comment and somebody on my team will be happy to send you the link so that you can save your spot. Anytime I do trainings, they always get sold out. Spots fill out quickly. So make sure you're able to sign up. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a beautiful Tuesday.